The Russian President Vladimir Putin will be a no-show at potential peace talks with Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky that are scheduled to take place in Türkiye today. So what does his absence mean for hopes of a comprehensive ceasefire? Emmanuelle Chaze is a journalist based in Kyiv, and she joins me live now. Emmanuelle, welcome back to the program. Now, why do you think Vladimir Putin decided to skip these talks in Turkey, despite saying that he wanted direct talks with Volodymyr Zelensky?
Good evening, Girish. Well, in fact, this is a slap in the face of the Ukrainian president, if you will, because sending its a low-level delegation rather than top ministers, or coming himself, since he had said that he wanted direct talks with Ukraine. This is really a way to say not only to Volodymyr Zelensky but also to the rest of the world that he simply doesn't consider Ukraine as a worthy interlocutor in that issue. So Volodymyr Zelensky, on the other hand, has been showing goodwill. He came to Turkey regardless of the Russian answer. So on the Ukrainian side, this is a way to show the readiness of Ukraine to enter those negotiations, to try and work towards the peace that seemingly Russia is not willing to work on right now.
So does Putin's absence jeopardize any hopes of at least a 30-day ceasefire?
Well, his absence here was nothing unexpected. I was talking to Ukrainians, actually, since Saturday, since the visit of some heads of state here from France, Great Britain, Germany, and Poland. And there was some hope, of course, that Russia might come to the table of negotiations, but people here weren't counting on it, simply because it's been 3+ years of full-scale invasion, with Russia showing no sign of wanting to decrease the level of attack. So there was no hope that he would come, but of course there was still some hope, that maybe the US would kind of pressure the Russian administration to do a little bit more, to be more compliant, but it hasn't been the case. And I have to say that people here are really not surprised about it.
Yes, and the other thing is that initially Donald Trump was going to skip the talks, but now says he might attend tomorrow, but only if things progress. So are you expecting President Trump to attend, and might that make any difference?
Well, indeed, this will be the big unknown. First, he said that he might join. Then, upon learning that Vladimir Putin will not join, he discarded this idea. And now he said that if any progress would be made, of course, he might still be able to join. However, we will have to see who in Ukraine will be talking to that low-level delegation. We have deputy foreign ministers, deputy defense ministers, and on the other hand, we have, on the other side of the table, we have the president of the country, which is currently under Russian aggression. So there's, a lack of balance in the diplomatic delegations being sent there. And Ukraine already warned that it would talk only about the unconditional 30-day ceasefire and a possible implementation of it.
Yes, regardless, I mean, you are there in Kyiv. What has there been any sort of positive anticipation that these talks in Türkiye might lead to something, given as well at the same time that, the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he will be speaking with that delegation from Russia?
Not really. There's no high hopes about those discussions, mainly because the main person concerned, Vladimir Putin, will be absent. And ultimately, he is the one who has been waging this war of aggression against Ukraine. He's the one who can stop it, just taking that one decision that every Ukrainian is hoping to hear one day. And since the Ukrainian delegation would only talk about the ceasefire and that Russia hasn't responded on it so far, there's very little hope that those talks will bring anything. If anything, some hope came back here in Ukraine when there was this agreement signed, the economic agreement with the US, because it seems to have warmed up relations between Washington and Kyiv. So if anything, that would be something that Ukrainians can rejoice about. But otherwise, when it comes to the Russian-Ukrainian relation, there is no hope left here in Ukraine that it might, be rekindled in the near future.
Yes. And Emmanuelle, in terms of the war itself, no signs of a ceasefire yet. And it's coming to summer as well. So will we see a ramping up of offenses by Russia, but also from Ukraine?
Absolutely. So Russia continues attacking along the front line, even during those very short-term unilaterally declared ceasefires around the Easter weekend, and also from the 8th to the 11th of May, when Vladimir Putin had said he would abide by a ceasefire. There have been no sign of it on the front line. Attacks have continued by the dozens and by the hundreds even during those so-called ceasefire. Also through the air, last night we got over 100 kamikaze drones over the country, so very difficult for the population living under those bombings and those explosions to believe that we are giving towards the ceasefire. But you pointed it out, Ukraine doesn't just stand back and await for example, foreign aid, Western aid to defend itself. It also attacks Russia deep within its territory, especially all refineries, warehouses where military equipment is being stored, and in doing so, it seeks to damage those infrastructures so as to impact the Russian economy and impact also its capability to wage war against Ukraine.
Okay, Emmanuelle Chaze, thank you so much for speaking with us there from Kyiv.
Thank you.